San Francisco, 1970. Main Street Boxing Gym. Bruce Lee is working the heavy bag when Big Tommy Morrison, former heavyweight boxing champion, 6'4", 220 pounds, 15 years in the ring, walks over, laughs, and says loud enough for the entire gym to hear, "Kung Fu is just dancing, not real fighting. You'd get destroyed in a real match." Every boxer in that gym stops training, stops sparring, stops jumping rope. All eyes turn to Bruce. They all know Tommy's reputation. State champion, fought professionally, knocked out 23 opponents, never been beaten by anyone under 200 pounds. Tommy expects Bruce to back down, expects this small Chinese guy to accept that boxing is superior to martial arts, expects respect without having to earn it. What Bruce does in the next 7 seconds doesn't just prove Tommy wrong, it teaches every person in that gym the difference between size and skill, between reputation and reality, between thinking you're the best and actually being the best. And 7 seconds is all it takes. But to understand why those 7 seconds mattered so much, we need to understand what Main Street Boxing Gym represented. San Francisco, 1970, Main Street Boxing. Gym sits on the corner of 5th and Harrison in the south of Market District. Not a fancy gym, not a place for celebrities or casual fitness enthusiasts. This is a working gym, a serious gym, where real fighters train. The building is old, brick exterior, paint peeling, second floor, accessed by a narrow staircase that creaks with every step. Inside, one large open room, high ceiling, industrial windows letting in natural light, concrete floor, the smell of sweat, leather and liniment oil, the sound of gloves hitting bags, feet shuffling, ropes slapping, equipment scattered throughout, heavy bags hanging from chains, speed bags on platforms, a regulation boxing ring in the center, canvas worn, ropes frayed but functional, free weights in the corner, pull-up bars, jump ropes. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Men train here. Real boxers. Some professional. Some amateur. Some just tough guys who like to fight. But everyone here takes boxing seriously. This isn't a game. This is the sweet science. The art of hitting without getting hit. The discipline that's produced champions for over a century. And Main Street Boxing Gym has produced its share. Local Golden Gloves winners. State champions. A few who went professional. One who fought for a regional title. The most famous, Tommy Morrison. Big Tommy. Morrison is a legend in San Francisco boxing circles. 33 years old. Started boxing at 12. Amateur career through high school. 47 wins. 3 losses. Turned professional at 18. Fought heavyweight division for 10 years. Record 31 wins, 4 losses. 23 wins by knockout. Never knocked out himself. The 4 losses. All by decision. All against men over 230 pounds. Tommy's only weakness, men significantly bigger than his 220. He won the California State Heavyweight Championship 3 years running. 1964, 1965, 1966. Defended it successfully against 6 challengers. Finally lost it in 1967 to a 245-pound fighter from Los Angeles. Tommy fought in Vegas, Atlantic City, Chicago. Made decent money. Not rich, but comfortable. Built a reputation as a tough technical fighter. Good jab, powerful right cross. Excellent defense. Ring IQ off the charts. Retired at 28, 5 years ago. Not because he couldn't compete anymore, because he'd proven what he wanted to prove. He was good, he was respected. He'd made his mark. Now he trains fighters at Main Street Boxing Gym, teaches young guys the fundamentals, works corner for local matches, and occasionally, when someone new walks into the gym thinking they can fight, Tommy reminds them what real fighting looks like. Tommy has a philosophy, simple, built on experience, built on 15 years in the ring. Boxing is the purest form of combat. One-on-one. No weapons, no tricks. Just 2 men testing their skill, their power, their will. Everything else, karate, kung fu, judo, is either incomplete or impractical. Interesting as cultural practice. Useless in a real fight. Tommy's seen it all. Karate guys who claim they can break boards with their hands but can't take a jab to the face. Judo guys who know throws but can't handle someone who keeps distance and boxes. Kung fu guys who do beautiful forms but freeze when someone actually tries to hit them. In Tommy's experience, there's only one martial art that consistently works. Boxing. Because boxing is pressure tested. Every technique proven in actual combat, against resisting opponents, under real conditions. So when Bruce Lee walks into Main Street Boxing Gym in March 1970, Tommy notices immediately. Bruce is 29 years old, recently moved to Los Angeles, but visiting San Francisco for a martial arts seminar. Heard about Main Street Boxing Gym, wanted to check it out, see how boxers train, maybe learn something. Bruce walks up the stairs, pushes through the door, immediately hit by the atmosphere. The sound, the smell, the energy. This is a real training environment, not a McDojo. Not a place for casual students, a place where people push themselves. Bruce approaches the front desk. An older man, Frank, the gym owner, looks up. Help you? I'd like to train here. Just for today. I'm visiting from Los Angeles. Frank looks Bruce up and down. Small guy, Asian, doesn't look like a boxer. This is a boxing gym. I understand. I train in martial arts. But I'd like to work on some conditioning. Heavy bag, speed bag, if that's okay. Frank shrugs. $10 for a day pass. Bruce pays. Frank hands him a towel and points toward the locker room. 10 minutes later, Bruce is on the gym floor, changed into training clothes. Simple black shorts, white tank top, hand wraps, barefoot, which gets some looks because everyone else wears boxing shoes. Bruce surveys the gym, decides to start with the heavy bag, finds one in the corner. Not occupied. He begins hitting it. Not hard at first, just warming up, finding rhythm. His style is immediately different from the boxers around him. They throw combinations, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, traditional boxing sequences. Bruce throws straight punches, fast, precise, different angles. A few boxers notice. Curious. This guy moves differently. Not bad, just different. Bruce increases intensity. The bag starts swinging harder. His punches make sharp cracking sounds. Not the dull thuds of boxing gloves on. Leather, sharper, like he's hitting through the bag instead of into it. More people notice now, stopping their own training to watch. This small Asian guy is making the heavy bag move like someone much bigger is hitting it. Tommy Morrison is working with a young fighter in the ring, teaching footwork. He hears the commotion, looks over, sees Bruce, sees the crowd forming. Tommy climbs out of the ring, walks over. He stands watching for a minute, arms crossed, analyzing. Bruce's technique is impressive, Tommy has to admit. Speed is exceptional. Accuracy is perfect. Every punch landing exactly where Bruce aims. But Tommy also sees the weaknesses. No weight behind the punches. Bruce is 135, maybe 140 pounds. Doesn't matter how fast he is. Doesn't matter how accurate. Against a 200-pound boxer with proper defense, those punches wouldn't do enough damage. And the stance, too narrow, too upright, leaves the body exposed. A good boxer would get inside, work the body, break him down. Tommy watches a bit longer, then decides to offer some friendly advice. He's not trying to be mean, just helpful. Sharing professional experience. Tommy walks up, waits for Bruce to finish a sequence, then speaks. Hey, you're pretty fast. Bruce stops, turns, nods politely. Thank you. You do kung fu? Yes, among other styles. Tommy nods. Looks good. Real good for what it is. But can I offer some advice? Boxer to martial artist? Of course. Your speed is impressive. But in a real fight, I mean a real fight, not a demonstration, speed only gets you so far. Power matters. And power comes from weight, leverage, technique built for generating knockout force. Boxing has that. We've refined it over centuries. Bruce listens. Doesn't interrupt. Tommy continues. Kung Fu is great for movies, great for demonstrations. Beautiful to watch. But against a trained boxer, you'd struggle. Not because you're not skilled, but because boxing is designed for combat. Real combat. Everything else is... He searches for the word. Dancing. The gym goes quiet. Everyone heard that last word. Dancing. Not just an observation, an insult, a dismissal. Bruce's expression doesn't change. Still calm, still polite. You think Kung Fu is dancing. Tommy realizes his word choice was harsh, but he doesn't back down. Look, I don't mean to offend, but yeah, compared to boxing, it's dance moves. Pretty to watch, not effective in a real match. Bruce nods slowly. Have you ever fought someone trained in Kung Fu? No, but I've fought a lot of people. Different backgrounds. Street fighters, bar brawlers, tough guys who thought they could box. And the ones who last longest are always the ones with boxing training. The ones with martial arts backgrounds, they look good until they get hit. Then they fold. Maybe they didn't train properly, Bruce suggests. Maybe, Tommy concedes. Or maybe Kung Fu just doesn't work against real fighting. The gym is watching now. Full attention. This is getting interesting. Bruce thinks for a moment, then makes an offer. Would you like to test your theory? Tommy raises an eyebrow. Test it how? Spar with me. Light contact. Just to see how Kung Fu handles boxing. Tommy almost laughs. You want to spar? You and me? If you're willing. Tommy looks Bruce up and down. 135 pounds, maybe 5'7", against Tommy's 220 and 6'4". This isn't even close to fair. Kid, I'd hurt you. I outweigh you by almost 100 pounds. I understand the weight difference. We'll keep it light, just technical. No knockouts. Just testing technique against technique. Tommy is torn. Part of him wants to prove his point. Show everyone that boxing beats Kung Fu. But part of him doesn't want to hurt this guy. He seems genuine, respectful, not trying to start trouble. But the gym is watching, waiting, and Tommy has a reputation to maintain. All right, Tommy says. But we're keeping this light. I'm not trying to send you to the hospital. Agreed. They move to the ring. Someone clears out. Everyone else gathers around. This is going to be good. Tommy puts on 16-ounce gloves. Bruce wraps his hands, but doesn't use gloves. Tommy notices, but doesn't comment. They step into the ring. Frank, the gym owner, acts as referee. Light contact, Frank reminds them. Technical demonstration. Not a real fight. Both men nod. They touch gloves, or Bruce's wrapped hands against Tommy's gloves. Frank steps back. Box. Tommy starts with his jab. Testing distance. Testing Bruce's reactions. Bruce slips it easily. Minimal movement. Just his head shifting slightly. Tommy jabs again, faster. Bruce slips again. Tommy starts combining. Jab cross, jab cross, jab cross hook. Bruce slips everything. Doesn't block, doesn't parry. Just moves, minimally, efficiently, like he knows where every punch is going before it arrives. Tommy's impressed. This guy has good defensive instincts. But Tommy's just warming up. Time to turn up the pressure. Tommy steps forward, closes distance, throws a body shot. Committed. Real power. Bruce isn't there. Tommy's punch hits air. Bruce has pivoted. Now standing at an angle, outside Tommy's power range. Tommy resets. Tries again. Combination to the head, then body, then head again. All miss. Bruce isn't running, isn't backing up. Just redistributing his position. Slight movements, tiny adjustments. But every punch Tommy throws lands where Bruce used to be. The gym is silent now. Everyone watching. This shouldn't be possible. Tommy's a professional. 15 years experience. He should be able to hit someone standing right in front of him. But he can't. Frustration builds. Tommy increases speed. Increases power. Real punches now. Not light contact anymore. Still nothing lands. Bruce hasn't thrown a single strike. Just defense. Just demonstrating that Tommy can't touch him. After 2 minutes, feels like longer, Tommy stops. Breathing hard. Frustrated. Confused. How are you doing that? Bruce smiles gently. You're telegraphing your punches. I can see them coming before you commit. Your shoulder drops slightly before your cross. Your hip rotates before your hook. Your weight shifts before your jab. You're showing me what you're going to do before you do it. That's basic boxing technique. That's how you generate power. Exactly. Your technique is designed to generate maximum power. But that requires setup, requires commitment, which means I have time to see it coming. Kung Fu is designed differently. Less power per strike, but more speed, more unpredictability. Different philosophy. Tommy's breathing slows, thinking. Okay, so you can avoid my punches, but can you hit me? Bruce considers. Would you like me to try? Yeah, show me what Kung Fu can do offensively. Bruce nods. Light contact. Just to demonstrate. Fine. They reset. Square up again. Tommy takes his defensive stance. Guard up, chin tucked, body protected. Bruce doesn't move. Just stands there, relaxed. Tommy waits, watching. Then Bruce moves. Not a punch, a touch. Bruce's hand touches Tommy's guard. Barely any force, just contact. Tommy feels it. Fast, incredibly fast. Then another touch. Different angle. Then another. In 7 seconds, Bruce touches Tommy's guard 15 times. Different positions, different angles. All places where Tommy's defense has tiny gaps. If Bruce wanted to hit hard, those touches would be strikes, would be penetrating Tommy's defense. Landing clean, but Bruce keeps them soft. Just demonstrations. Proof of concept. After 7 seconds, Bruce stops. Tommy stands there, guard still up. But his expression has changed. Shock, disbelief, respect. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Bruce lowers his hands. Speed comes from different principles. Boxing generates power from weight transfer and rotation. Effective, but requires time. Kung Fu generates power from snap, like a whip. Less mass behind it, but arrives faster. Different trade-offs. Tommy lowers his guard, processes. So Kung Fu isn't dancing? Bruce smiles. Dancing is coordinated movement with rhythm and purpose. In that sense, yes, Kung Fu is dancing. But so is boxing. So is any martial art. The question isn't whether it's dancing. The question is whether it works. Tommy nods slowly. And it works. Different from boxing. Not better. Not worse. Different. Each has strengths. Each has limitations. They step out of the ring. The gym erupts in conversation. Everyone talking at once, arguing about what they just saw. Tommy and Bruce shake hands. I'm sorry I called it dancing, Tommy says. That was disrespectful. No apology needed. You didn't know. Now you do. Tommy looks at Bruce. really looks at him. Seeing him differently now, would you be willing to teach me some of your techniques? I'd like to learn. Bruce considers. I could show you some principles, but better if you visit my school in Los Angeles. I teach there regularly. What's it called? Junfan Gongfu Institute. Tommy commits that to memory. I'll come down soon. 3 weeks later, Tommy drives to Los Angeles, finds Bruce's school, watches a class, blown away by what he sees, trains with Bruce for 6 months. Weekly, trips to LA, learning, absorbing, changing his entire understanding of combat. 5 years later, 1975, Tommy Morrison opens his own school in San Francisco. Not a boxing gym, a martial arts school, teaching a hybrid system. Boxing fundamentals combined with kung fu principles, speed and power, defense and offense, Western and Eastern. He calls it Morrison Combat Arts. His first students are boxers from Main Street. Boxing gym, curious, skeptical, but willing to learn. Within 2 years, Morrison Combat Arts becomes one of the most respected schools in San Francisco, producing fighters who compete successfully in multiple styles, winning boxing matches, winning karate tournaments, winning early mixed martial arts competitions. Tommy tells every student the same story. The day he called kung fu dancing, the day Bruce Lee showed him in 7 seconds that he was wrong. Not wrong about boxing. Boxing is still effective, still powerful, still relevant, but wrong about dismissing other martial arts. Wrong about assuming his way was the only way. Wrong about thinking size and reputation matter more than skill and understanding. Bruce Lee died in 1973. 2 years before Tommy opened his school. But Tommy carries Bruce's lesson forward, teaching thousands of students over the next 30 years, spreading the philosophy Bruce demonstrated in 7 seconds. That true martial arts isn't about style. It's about effectiveness. It's about what works, and what works is whatever you can demonstrate under pressure, against resistance, against reality. So here's the question. What are you dismissing right now? Because it looks different from what you know. What are you calling dancing because you don't understand it? What would you learn if you stopped talking and started testing? Because Tommy Morrison was a champion. 15 years experience, 31 professional wins, state title holder. One of the best boxers in California. And it took Bruce Lee 7 seconds to show him he didn't know everything. 7 seconds to change a career. 7 seconds to change a philosophy. 7 seconds to prove that the person who thinks they've figured it all out is the person who stopped learning. Tommy learned that lesson, spent the rest of his life teaching it to others. What will you do with your 7 seconds?